Hi, everybody. It's Linda Morrison here from Ageless Goddess and Ageless Business. I am really, really super excited to extend and keep on flowing our Art of Listening interview series. This is series two. We've done a bunch of over 40 interviews in series one. And so this is the new wave of new great people to actually speak to. Part of the reason that I actually brought this whole project together was I was finding that vacuous reaching out, marketing, short content creation, copying other people was really just getting me down on social media and beyond. So I decided to buck the trend a little bit and go back to the foundations of what makes much of our organizations and our businesses flow. And that is really, really, truly listening to our potential consumers, our audiences, those that need our help. So I'm really excited today to be speaking on the other end of Australia to Jane Rushton. Hello and welcome aboard, Jane. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do today? And then a little bit about how you've arrived at doing this great work that you actually do. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much, Linda. Yeah, what do I do today? I help the community to create a beautiful flow of mindset to create the best version of them, no matter what they're doing in life. So I have two pillars. One of them is the International Network Festival, and I'm here in Samoa at the moment running an International Network Festival here. And I'm also going to be inspirational speaking, being the inspirational speaker at it as well, talking about community words and new matter on and off the court, and how your words, what you say, whether it's external or to yourself, creates the state of mind you're in and how you're going to act. So whether you're going to act really positive to the umpire when they make a mistake, whether you're giving yourself a hard time as a player. As the inspirational speaker, I have written a book called Mind Tricks, and I'm also writing my second book this year called I Lost My Face as well. And I started the Jane Rushton Live Academy so I'm an NLP trainer, hypnotherapist, timeline therapy, and I've done multiple modalities. And then that goes back another step to when I was actually 27 and a big bang happened in my life, and my life went black and it changed forever. And it put me on this personal development journey and also a bit of this woohoo journey as well, where I do spiritual work now, Reiki, and I do a lot of intuitive work. So whether I'm training people in NLP, which I've got one coming up in May, or whether I'm at an international netball festival, and there's another one in July is in the Gold Coast. Then I've got September in New Zealand, and then Fiji in December, and on they go. So year after year, we run these great events, and I get to speak and see hundreds and hundreds of these young teenagers, the coaches and managers, and to be able to inspire them to think about what they say, do, to create the state of mind and the mindset to be able to bond as a team, but also as a community on and off the court.
Absolutely love it. Thank you so much. There's so much that we can talk about personally and professionally here right now. My mind is just going off with lots of different things because I was just saying yesterday to another interviewee, my son is, well, both my children are athletes, but my son is this wonderful athlete in a sport called lacrosse. But I had never had any experience in that sport. Also, he has a sister and I have a sister. So, being a solo mum from the time he was 10, this club down there at Williamstown Lacrosse Club um, was his brother's. It was his
Yeah.
brothers, and he's been so well mentored. And being a coach myself and a human movement degree and behavior change degrees, and I've been around coaches all of my life. I really had no idea about what probably a young boy needed, but also lacrosse ain't my sport, and I ain't gonna try it now. Running with sticks, wow, it's great to watch, but what a beautiful fast sport. So I just stood back and watched him be so well mentored throughout the ages and his time, but also it gave everyone in that community, as you've mentioned, retired players somewhere to put their energy and understanding. Many of them international actual players, because Williamstown lacrosse is so prevalent in lacrosse across the world, that it just all happened all organically. And the biggest thing I found was fun. They always kept it fun. And can
Gotta
you
be fun.
speak into that just a little bit? Yeah, yeah,
Yes, so I nicknamed myself Jane Fun Rushton quite a while ago because I realized we were getting too serious in life. And when I was a netball coach, I played, I was umpire and umpire convener, I was a president of a netball association, and everyone was very serious about winning and just getting there and, push them harder. And I just realized that even as a mother, life was actually getting too serious. I have run my own businesses since I was 14. I started my own little cottage industry business of designing way back then. And I was focusing on making money and saving money and working and doing the best in my sport. So fun is something that is new to many people's ears. And the change in the energy that I'm seeing with people listening to people more and actually seeing and hearing the ones that are struggling more and realizing just lighten up, just make it fun. What would you like to do? What can you do?
yeah,
This is a skill you're finding a little bit tricky right now. You know, what is it that I could do to help guide you to have more fun on the netball court, on the soccer court, or at work or at home? I'm bored. You hear the children saying that, but listen to them when they're having fun and pick up on what is the things that they enjoy. And then you can shrink it down and make it smaller to they have fun playing outside, but they don't want to do it. So what is a game inside we can play? What is a game we could play when we're setting the table? What's
yeah,
a game that we can play? Can we have some fun music going while we're doing the dishes or filling the dishwasher or doing the housework?
yeah. Love it. I absolutely love that. Um, to me, in the in-between times is where my creativity flows in as well. When I'm doing the jobs and the task lists and the stuff, um, the creativity doesn't have space to flow in. So the answers to your questions or the difficulties or how to get out of a situation or into the situation where you would rather be, all happens in the moments at the beach, the moments where you got, yeah, I don't know, your feet on the grass or sand, the moments where you're taking a shower. I'm not sure if you've heard that before, but a lot of people, when they take a bath or a shower, it's like all the good stuff flows in. So it's when
Yeah.
yeah, sort of they've said yes to the stuff that doesn't seem like the work, but it's still part of the pattern.
Well,
Um,
it's a foundation, isn't it? When we get into the shower and just think there's positive flow through the water coming into me. And then when we go outside and we actually start to look at the trees and look at the sun or look at the rain or look at the clouds and actually go, this is we're alive right here today. There's days you don't feel so alive, but starting to literally have time to be present with what's around you at that point in time. And when you're on the computer, aren't we very thankful and grateful that we have that communication? When people are overseas, we're sad because we're missing our children or family. It's like, gosh, we've got that communication. Aren't we grateful for that? So bringing that element of gratefulness in, but being observing, like listen to the birds outside.
yeah,
A truck might go by and you go, oh, that's life, isn't it? Sometimes it's a real rumble life, and just bring it into the present of
yeah,
going, that's right, but nothing ever stays the same.
yeah. So interesting. I do find it fascinating because I also have the privilege of being able to work overseas and anywhere for the last 13 years, apart from, having bricks and mortar businesses in the past, gyms and chiropractic offices and things like that. But everyone's attracted to a similar thing. Often it's, fit, muscular bodies, little babies laughing, sunsets, sunrise. Yeah, it's so, yeah, bringing that joy in and that gratefulness, as you mentioned, I believe it's the highest vibration possible. What I find amazing about working with athletes, and this might be a little bit indulgent because I always have, we have in our different practices, but also they are around me personally and professionally. Um, there's something about them that extend a lot of those areas. Would you like they are born for a life that's not only comfortable, but they extend things. How do you, in that fringe, or the people who stay within the fringe, in the safety area, let's say, what do you find flips them in wanting to try a little bit more, harder, deeper, just to see what's possible for
Yeah,
them?
so it's the comfort zone, isn't it? A lot of us will stay in the comfort zone, and it's that fish just flying out of its comfort zone, trying something new. What is the mindset that one needs to create? And it's uniquely different for all of us. So it's about what would you see, how would it make you feel if you did something slightly different? And when you acknowledge that feeling, go back into your life and see, is there a time where you've done something outside your comfort zone? It actually made you feel excited once you did it. And that will help remove the fear. So go back to a particular time when you were maybe even young and you went higher on the swing. It took you outside that comfort
Yes.
zone.
And
How did
you
that make you feel?
stop breathing. Yeah.
Yeah. So bring it back to a story in the past when young, and sometimes you go, oh, and there was nothing. There was always something. When you learned to ride a bike, when you got your first job, when you left school, getting your degree, if you did that, or apprenticeship, learning to drive a car, all those things are outside one's comfort zone at that point in time. And
Yeah.
bringing that back into the sport, into as an athlete, and that mindset going, if you're trying to beat your PB or on the netball court, is always how can we be the better team player? You come back to the I, we have to, first of all, I have to think, what do I need to do, or what could I do if I actually listened to the coach very closely and just heard one thing from them when you're not wanting to listen that day, and just implemented that because it resonated with you. And take that one thing and go, I'm going to focus on that. And that's the I. And then I'm focusing on that. Then I'm going to focus on the external, the team outside that in netball. And also, as an athlete individually, you also still are a team, aren't you? You're a team with your coach and your trainer. You're a team with the other teammates there as well, and building each other up. When you've got it, really build the other person up as well. Then your vibration will lift higher. A lot of people say, I won't tell them the tips and tricks. I'm not going to tell them I heard that. I'm going to be one better than them. However, if you share it, you will keep growing with your vibration or the positive aura and vibration around you. And therefore, your team is all going to camaraderie. And at different times, you'll have better PBs. It's just the way it goes in life. But it's about you sharing your vibration in a positive manner.
100%. Thank you so much for saying that. My young son, so nearly 23, had a hamstring injury while he was moving towards his Olympic campaign, and he actually thought that he wasn't going to be in the room for the next cut. Still 3 years away, LA 2028. But I said to him, I had to say it as a mummy from the other coach from coaching different people and different things. Um, you're more than that in your team. Your hamstring might not be at its best, and he rarely gets injured. But there's so many things you bring to the team. You're able to, calm the more aggressive and verbal players. You're able to stay even keeled under pressure when it's hot, cold, anything. And also, people want you around. These are, and I can't think of other things. There's other things, but there's still leadership skills to have when you have a team. Like you say, some are peaking, some are back in rehab, some are here, some are here. So that's absolutely true. The other thing is, I think about anyone that we support to their brilliance is that um, there's, the unsung heroes, the grandparents that turn up, the people that refill the water bottles, the all of the other things around someone being brilliant. And in everyday life, whether you're an athlete or not, I think that that's underestimated or not seen as something important for, to have a remarkable life. You don't need to be remarkable at specifically something. You can still have a remarkable life. So, can you speak a little bit into that? I'm been in Melbourne during lockdowns, and I have found people to really struggle because their hype girls or their team were taken away from them, literally. Couldn't play outdoor lacrosse for some reason. Wind blowing sideways, you can't, you're going to catch something. Couldn't do anything. But even to not being able to visit your grandma, because she was in that age group that apparently were going to get much more ill. Um, so, can you speak a little bit about support networks, I suppose, even if you're not an athlete?
Yes, so support networks works they're so important, and quite often, as you say, not acknowledged as young sung heroes. And for people, so we talk a lot about families and grandparents, and it's good to remember the carers too. There are so many carers out there helping bring up children, and we did foster caring. We have 4 of our own children. We foster cared for 6 years as well. And the carers that have support, no matter these young children growing up, they are even a stronger young sung hero. They've chosen outside their family to take these children on to support them, and the coaches and the managers. So that's why when I talk about community, you and words matter, that every one of you is part of the community, but start to see the bigger picture of everyone as a community, but that's your support crew. They might not always support you the way you want them to support you. However, that's where you've actually got to
I haven't
choose
received
going,
your memo.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Wrong memo, don't say that. Yeah. And however, at the end of the day, they're always there for you. With the lockdown, I think it was a very, very trying, well, we know it was, and hard for certain countries and states. Here in the Gold Coast, we were very fortunate. As much as it brought much devastation, it brought a lot of growth with that support by people Zooming and doing FaceTime. And that was amazing in lots of realms. We always know there's an offset to that as well. However, we're here to talk about the ways we can support each other in today's life, in this world that we live in. And that was the thing, is the teams could come together online. They could do training online. And I know that a lot of people forget about the mindset as a team as an individual. That is what's going to get you over and above. That's what's going to get you to where you want to go. That's what's going to help you to be that team player and get you to that level that you think you may never get there. They can, because they're fast or jump higher. It's not about that. It's about what you think here and what your body can do with how you're made. And I feel that's very, very exciting when people just go, if you actually even came and did one-on-one coaching or listen to YouTubes of inspirational speakers of being athletes, to get your mindset in the right space, because you just want to be the best version of you, and listen to that support around you. You may not want to hear it, but there may be a day, a month, a week, a year later where you go, actually, I remember them saying that. And I actually remember my mother saying to me, just dream big, think big, don't worry about what other people say. Just you keep focused on what you want in life. And I said, well, that's easy to say, but other people are saying this, and I can't have this, because she goes, just keep thinking and dreaming your dreams, and believe you're as good as what you are today, and you can only improve. And I just thought a load of rubbish back then as a kid. I went, nah, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm not good enough. And she said, you are, your strengths are here. I was 1 of 7, your other siblings' strengths are here. Focus on your strengths. And then don't just do tunnel vision, go peripheral. So that support that I got to think outside the square rather than just tunnel vision into peripheral and look around me, not just like, that's all I've got. It's just there. I can't do any better. Or the coach is always picking on me when the coach is actually trying to improve you, but you're on an off day. And that's what I teach when I'm speaking, is a beautiful mantra. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And it stops your mind. It's called Ho'oponopono. I'm not sure if you know it.
Yeah.
It stops your mind thinking about the negatives to neutralize you so you can listen.
Yeah. Love
Whether
it.
you want to hear it right then or not,
Yeah.
it'll sink into your subconscious mind if you stop your self-talk monkey chatter. The
Yeah.
other technique is 1, 2, 3, breathe. You're going, I can't do it. She's going on and she's trying to support me, but you're no, 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 no. And you're going, I'm not playing well. I'm not playing. I can't shoot good. Da, da, da. Stop, breathe. 3, 2, 1, breathe.
Mm.
Stop. 3, 2, 1, breathe. Just focus on what you want, not what you haven't got at that point in time. So the support that's around you is always there if you're prepared to listen and
Mm.
if you can stop your own monkey chatter.
Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for saying that. I'm actually going to do a little bit of a roundabout here. What you we're all we happen to be have landed in a space where we are very, very well coached, and we can be well coached if we listen. I've got to say that sometimes we don't want to listen to what the coach has to say at that time. But you mentioned your mother, who's got seven gorgeous kids, clearly. But some of the best advice actually came from my mother and my grandmother, whom ended school at 15, weren't really coached, um, but went on to have remarkable lives. And some of the stuff that they say just sticks. So you're right about your mum, and it's really interesting. And then you were talking earlier about don't share coaching principles. Well, maybe they're just principles. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're just principles that are known to be true. You know, stay on your own page or in your own lane, concentrate on yourself. However, be extremely aware about how other things are actually coming in and affecting you. We want to be aware, use the art of listening and the conscious art of listening, which is an active thing. So it's not just we've done and dusted today. It's coming from everywhere. Um, and also understand where you think you might want to go, but you haven't been there yet, so it never feels good to go there. And that's where you pull back in, hopefully, to great support networks, coaches, everything else that you need to hear to help you to make the right path for yourself, to be available for
Yes.
anything. It's a creative process, and I think that people don't understand this. And what I actually see bandied around on a lot of LinkedIn sites and all sorts of, we're leadership coaches and yeah, we've got our way. It's actually more nuanced than that, and to me, much more subtle. And can you say a little bit about that? Because from my understanding, I've got, gifted, intelligent children, but they're also gifted physically. From what I actually understand, is that often happens at the same time. So for people actually who are going, oh, you're just a maths geek, you can't be sporty or, play the violin or do anything else, you know, that's actually not true. It's almost like abundance just opens up on so many
Yeah.
different folds in and levels. Don't tell them they're only smart at maths, for example, or don't tell them they're only good at netball or hockey or whatever. Um,
So
actually,
don't label them. Basically, don't label them. That's what you're
yeah, if
saying.
they're that good at that, more often than not, they're really good at something else as well.
Yes. So I'll just go back one step when you're talking about the listening, and the art of listening is when a player is not hearing a coach or a coach is not hearing a player, a really good tip is asking them, can you just listen to me for a minute rather than keeping talking when you can tell they're blank or they're rolling their eyes or whatever they're doing. they're playing with something. Could you just listen to me? Can I have eye contact? Can you just listen for a minute? And if you've got a good relationship with the coach, you should be able to say that quite clearly to the coach. Do you mind just listening to me? I'm feeling a little bit, and saying I just need a bit of time. Another tip that I found was really, really good is saying to people, would you like me to listen or would you like advice? And to really hear that. And I say to my children that, and my daughter will say to me something about what's going on. And I said, would you like me to listen or would you like advice? She goes, I just want you to listen. So there I am listening away. Now she's trained in this is what I'm talking about, is trained in NLP as well. And so neuro-linguistic programming, that I've got a training in May for that as well. And I know that she's got lots of tools, right? So I'm listening. And sometimes she'll say to me, thanks, Mum. But I'll just say to her, I know you have the tools. And she'll go away. Other times I'll listen and then she'll chat it all out and then go, yeah, I'd like a bit of advice now. And sometimes even then I'll say, you've got the tools. Jump on my app, Jane Rushton Live app, and the tools are there just for you. If I could give you one tip, it would be this. So it's a really learnt skill to actually be able to listen and to ask that permission. Do you want me to listen? Or would you like advice? Going back to what you mentioned before about, yes, so not labeling is what I was hearing you say. And even I work with autistic
not,
children.
if you're absolutely, or you've been seen to be brilliant at really something, or really not good at something else, um, there's always a path to
That's
something.
right. So you get stuck in that label as you're really good at math or you're really good at science. And, sometimes people add on, you're not so good at this and that. Whereas like, this is your strength. You've got these strengths, but if you'd like to achieve more and get better at math, or would you like to get with science, you can possibly do that. You just again have to open your mind and get coached and get support with that. You need to listen about, how do I want to get there? And again, that's going back to getting out of your comfort zone rather than sitting there going, I'm not good at it. The teacher said. Sometimes it's the teacher at the time, but then we've got to be at cause and effect, right? Can't keep blaming the teacher, because there's always something we can do outside the realm when we don't have the best teacher at that point in time in life.
Well,
So yeah.
said. Also, I do know that often those that have been considered, well, I do know this for a fact, quite cerebral when they've been growing up, might not get active or be active. And therefore, and as we know, if you're stuck, move, like move. You're a human body, it needs to move. And there's so many choices out there now. I know when I was growing up, there was netball or dance. That's it. So that's it. That's all there was in my community. And but now there's so many. You can do all sorts of things. It's wonderful.
Nearly too much. Nearly too
Yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. I hear you. I hear you. All right. Jane, I'm just going to give you the last little moment to say how people can actually contact you and the two main ways, I suppose. I know you've got your, yeah, two different pillars. So just,
Yes, so if you're interested in netball, internationalnetballfestival.com, you can just Google International Netball Festival and we come up. We run in 4 countries and are looking at branching out to Hong Kong as well for premier teams and opens. We have divisions 13 to 15, so internationalnetballfestival.com and janerushtonlive.com. So it's quite easy to find me. And if you find Jane Rushton Live, you'll jump over to International Netball Festival. We run a charity in Fiji. Both businesses, both pillars give money back to Fiji. Any money that comes in from people that I am supporting, that all that money goes to the Fiji Youth Charity. So life's all about giving back, and we listen to them on what they are really needing in the netball
Jane.
world for them.
Incredible. We'll have Jane's short bio, but then those links to those places as well. Thank you so much for being involved in the art of listening. I could talk to you for about 10 hours and a half.
Yeah, likewise.
So I'm going to end it here, everybody. Thank you so much for listening, and thanks for being with us, Jane.
Thank you very much. It was wonderful talking with you, Linda. Have a great day, everybody.